Welcome to the Dessert Show. I'm Debbie Fields, and I love desserts. I love to bake, and I love to make desserts because you know what? Not only are they fun to eat, but they are so much fun to share. Every time I share desserts, you know what? I can always get a smile, either on my husband's face or my kids, and also my friends and family. I'll tell you, today we have some wonderful desserts for you to create and share. You know what? They're easy, they're not fussy, and most importantly, they taste great. Today we're going to be making almond date granola bars, and I just ate one, and believe me, you'll love these. And then Mom's oatmeal chip cookies. And I'll tell you what, you're going to love to make these. And then last but not least, our Simply Baked apples. That's the special time of the show where we get to create desserts that are easy, quick, and generally low in fat and calories. Now here's the ingredients that you're going to need. The filling for the almond date granola bars is as follows: 1½ cups of chopped dates, ½ cup of shredded coconut, 3/4 cup of half and half, 1 teaspoon of almond extract. The crust is 2 cups of quick oats, 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of dark brown sugar, and ½ teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, ½ cup of salted butter, and ½ cup of chopped almonds. Now, because we're going to be using dates in this recipe, I wanted to give you some information. First of all, did you know that dates are called the candy that grows on trees? And the reason for that is because they are fully 1/2 sugar. Additionally, dates are good for you. That's right. They have a lot of iron, and they're also full of vitamin A and B. So that's a real plus when we get ready to make this recipe. Now, when you want to chop dates up, the thing you'll notice is that they're sticky. Now, how do you avoid the stickiness? Well, one of the things you can do is simply to take the dates, put them in your freezer, let them get hard. And once they get nice and hard, that's a good time to begin chopping them up. It's easier on you, your knife, and of course they won't stick together. Or you can take some scissors and you can cut them, which is fun. I didn't know you could do that. So this is something I'm learning on the Dessert Show. Now, the other thing with all dried fruit, you can do two things, and this is the quicker method. And that is, you can simply take a saucepan and put some water on the very bottom, and with the steamer, as you can see, you can then put your dried fruit inside, and placing it over low-medium heat, you let it steam for about 10 minutes. And what you'll discover is that your dried fruit will become nice and plump and juicy and moist and really good. Or you can let them soak in your favorite juice, and that will also work. Now, let's get ready to make these wonderful almond date granola bars. And what we're going to do is, first of all, talk about granola. What's granola? Now, first of all, you need to know that granola is supposed to be a healthy food, yet many of the commercial brands are very high in fat. And you know, that's because they put in a lot of added oil. So you want to make sure that you look at, when you buy granola, you want to look at the ingredients to make sure that they didn't put in a lot of added fat. Okay. Let's get ready to bake and create something that you will really enjoy. First of all, what we're going to do is start with having half and half. And I've got it over low-medium heat, and you want to get it to a nice boiling state. And as soon as this gets to the boiling state, then you are going to add, and you can tell because you'll begin to see it boil, but I guess you've probably learned, as I have, whenever you watch something try to boil, it doesn't happen. So eventually, when this does boil, and I know it will, then you want to add your dates, and you want to add your coconut, and then, of course, you want to add your almond. And you want to put that in. Then you want to continue to cook and simmer and stir it all up. And what will happen is this wonderful mixture will turn into a filling that looks like this. And you can see that there's definitely a color difference. That's what you want to look for. And it's just going to simply take time for that to happen. Now, what you want to do now is set it aside so it cools. And we're going to get ready to actually begin the crust. Now, the crust consists, you want to get a relatively, medium-large bowl. I've got the oats here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the butter and the brown sugar. And we're going to put this together. And this, of course, is dark brown sugar. And if you don't have dark brown sugar, that's perfectly acceptable because you can also use light brown sugar. Or if you only have granulated sugar and you want the flavor of dark brown or light brown sugar, all you need to do is take and add like a tablespoon of molasses. That will create dark brown sugar for you. Now, go ahead and blend this together so that the brown sugar and the butter and the oatmeal gets fully incorporated. And I find that it's just as easy to use a wire whisk, but anything that will stir you can use. The goal is just to get this to the point where everything's nice and moistened and all blended. So now, as we do that, we are going to add the baking soda. I always like to add the baking soda into dry ingredients. And then you want to blend it thoroughly, make sure it gets incorporated. And we're going to add that into the oatmeal, the brown sugar, and the butter, adding our cinnamon as well for the flavoring, and blending thoroughly. Now, we're going to take this and put it into a baking pan. And if you don't, you can use either metal or glass. Today, I'm going to be using glass. And the only thing you need to know is that whenever you bake with glass, generally speaking, things tend to bake faster. So just keep an eye on that when you're baking at home. Now, as soon as this is nice and moistened, you are going to simply take it and you are going to place it on the bottom of a glass pan or metal pan, whatever you have at home. And also the size. I'm using this particular size today, but anything that you have at home, if it's substantially larger or smaller, it will affect baking times, but you can still bake with whatever you have at home. Now you want to go ahead and place that into your pan, and we're simply going to press this on the very bottom. And it's really easy. And then, while we get ready to make the spread the topping on, we're going to put this in the refrigerator, and we're going to let it get to a nice firm state. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator right now, and we're going to let it get firm. Now, time has flown, time flies when we're having fun, and look at this. It is now firm. Now we're going to go get the filling and place the filling on top. And simply take this, and here we go. Oh, you know, one of the things that I just remembered, I was so excited about telling you how to make this wonderful recipe, is that when you put this filling in the center, you want to make sure it all goes in. You want to save some for the crumble top. And what that means is that you want to place this inside, and then taking some of the extra, you want to sprinkle that on top. Okay, so you only basically use 3 cups of it. Sprinkle that on top. That creates the nice crumbly texture. And you also add your almonds. And then what happens is you're going to be baking at a temperature of approximately 350 degrees. It's going to take about 30 minutes to bake. And let me show you what happens. You're looking for like a nice golden color. And here's something. This is what it looks like when it's done. And let me tell you what you're going to like about this particular recipe. First of all, it has a great taste. That's number 1. Number 2, it's very moist. Number 3, it has lots of iron in it, and it's good for you. Now, I actually like chocolate. In fact, I love chocolate. So it would taste better for me if I added chocolate chips. So I would recommend that if you'd like, at the time you put in your crumble base, add chocolate chips too if you're a chocolate lover like me. But do it this way, or stay tuned because I've got another great recipe.